If you write the word wrong incorrectly, is it still wrong?
That's a fun paradox. If you write the word wrong incorrectly, then technically it's wrong because it's misspelled. But the fact that you wrote it wrong to make a point could be seen as correct in that context. So it's both wrong and right depending on how you look at it.
If a liar tells you they're lying, are they telling you the truth?
If a liar tells you they're lying, it creates a paradox. If they're lying about lying, then they would be telling the truth. But if they're telling the truth about lying, then they aren't lying. This contradiction makes it impossible to determine if they're being truthful or deceptive in that statement.
If you forget that you forgot something, did you still forget?
Yes, you still forgot something, even if you've forgotten that you forgot it. The act of forgetting happened, whether or not you remember that it did. It's like a hidden memory lapse. Something is missing, but you're not aware of the gap. It's an interesting concept to think about, isn't it?
Let's say you are in a race and you pass the person in the second place. What place are you in?
If you pass the person in second place, you would be in second place. You haven't reached first place yet, but you've moved ahead of the person who was in second.
If two mind readers read each other's minds, whose mind are they reading?
If two mind readers are reading each other's minds, it creates a loop where they're both perceiving the other's thoughts. In a way, they're simultaneously sharing each other's minds, creating a continuous exchange of thoughts. It's like a mirror reflecting another mirror, an endless reflection.
How would you rate the scale of 1 to 10 on a scale of 1 to 10?
That's a bit of a tricky question. If I had to rate the scale of 1 to 10 on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a solid 10. It's simple, widely understood, and versatile for rating just about anything.
If you travel back in time and you meet your past self, which one is the original one?
That's a fascinating question. In the context of time travel, both versions of you could be considered the original, just at different points in your timeline. The past you is the original in the sense that they came first chronologically, while the present you is the original from the perspective of your current experience. It's like two snapshots of the same person at different times.
If nothing is impossible, is it possible for something to be impossible?
That's a great paradox. If nothing is impossible, then by that logic, it should be possible for something to be impossible. But that creates a contradiction because if something is impossible, then not everything is possible. It's a bit of a mind bender where the statement loops back on itself.
If you know that you know nothing, does that mean you know something?
Yes, it does mean you know something. If you know that you know nothing, you're aware of your own limitations, which is a form of knowledge in itself.
If you take a picture of a mirror, what would you take a picture of actually?
If you take a picture of a mirror, you're essentially taking a picture of whatever is reflected in the mirror. This could be yourself, the camera, or anything else in front of the mirror. The mirror itself just reflects what's in front of it.
If you tell someone to be spontaneous, are they still being spontaneous?
If someone follows your instruction to be spontaneous, their actions are influenced by your suggestion. So it's less about true spontaneity and more about responding to a prompt. True spontaneity comes from acting without premeditation or external influence.
If you could travel to the past or the future, which one would be more like the present?
The future would likely be more like the present because it's a continuation and evolution of what exists now. While the past has already happened and is set in its ways, the future is shaped by the present and can reflect its trends, technologies, and ideas, albeit in a more advanced or different form.
If you drink water-flavored water, what would the water taste like?
If you drink water-flavored water, it would just taste like plain water. Since water doesn't have much of a taste to begin with, water-flavored water would simply be, well, water.
What do you mean plain water? Like water from a plane?
By plain water, I mean water that doesn't have any added flavors or tastes, just regular, unflavored water. Not water from a plane, but just the basic kind of water you drink every day.
If you expect the unexpected, does that mean that the unexpected is expected?
Yes, if you expect the unexpected, it creates a paradox where the unexpected becomes something you anticipate, and therefore it's no longer truly unexpected.
If you could describe indescribable in one word, what would it be?
I'd say ineffable. It captures the idea of something too great or intense to be described in words.
Can you hear silence If so, what does it sound like?
Hearing silence is more about the absence of sound than the presence of it. When we say we hear silence, we're noticing the lack of noise around us. It's like the quiet between sounds or when everything else is still. Some people describe it as peaceful, others might find it unsettling.
If you have to be cruel to be kind, does that mean that kindness is cruel?
Not exactly. The saying, you have to be cruel to be kind, suggests that sometimes tough or seemingly harsh actions are necessary for someone's long-term benefit. It doesn't mean that kindness itself is cruel, but rather that kindness can take forms that might not feel pleasant in the moment. It's about the intention behind the action.
If you're standing at the North Pole, which direction is south?
If you're standing on the North Pole, every direction you look is south. The North Pole is the northernmost point on Earth, so any movement away from that point would be heading south.
If you say that something is indescribable, does that mean that you just described it?
Yes, in a way, by calling something indescribable, you're using a word to convey that it's beyond description. So even though you haven't provided specific details, you've still given it a label, which is a kind of description in itself.
If you could see sound and hear colors, what would the world look like?
If you could see sound and hear colors, the world would be a blend of sensory experiences unlike anything we typically perceive. Sounds might appear as vibrant, shifting shapes or colors, filling the space around you like visual music. Colors, on the other hand, might have their own unique tones or melodies, creating a symphony of sounds as you move through different environments. It would be a world where all your senses are intertwined, giving you a completely new way to experience reality.
If AI could feel emotions, would they be real emotions or just programmed responses?
If AI could feel emotions, they would likely be programmed responses rather than real emotions as humans experience them. Emotions in AI would be based on algorithms and code, simulating emotional reactions, but not arising from the complex subjective experience that humans have. While they might seem real from the outside, they would still be artificial, created by design rather than by a natural emotional process.
So all of these questions that I just asked you are gonna be in one of my YouTube videos. So this was the last question. Thank you for your participation. And can you tell my subscribers like a goodbye and all they need to do?
Thank you for having me in your video. To all the subscribers, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to keep up with more awesome content. Stay curious, and I'll see you next time.